Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. I want to talk to y'all about NVIDIA and AMD. Compare these two. First of all, let's start off with the stock, okay? The stock is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's running up because we don't have anything in front of it, okay? We had tensions of DeepSeek, China, tariffs. Now that, things start to calm down, we always find a way to run up, okay? As we've seen in the past, as low as $94 a share, and this can go as high as 200, 203, 204, 230, right? As long as people are on one side. So if buyers form and they keep buying NVIDIA because their financials are crazy, this stock is going to run up regardless, okay? Now, AMD, on the other hand, is also another great stock that you can own. As you can see, I'm so glad I didn't buy this at the wrong time, because when the stock was at almost $200, it had a big correction all the way down, going all the way down to $98 a share, which is a lot of money, right? You could have lost you could have been losing $70 a share if you would have bought up here. And if you have over 100 shares, that's a lot of money, right? So I'm so glad I bought at the right time, because it takes patience. A lot of people say, "Oh, don't time the market, blah blah blah," but when you have patience and you know that something doesn't seem right about AMD being 181, and around the time NVIDIA was still very dominant, okay, and both stocks were very volatile. I knew I didn't want to own both at the time. I wanted to do one or the other, and I owned NVIDIA at the time. Sold NVIDIA on profit. Now I switched. All right, I want y'all to see what I'm doing here. As y'all can see, I'm 14% up on AMD, but I sold NVIDIA, then held on to AMD. So you can hold both stocks, right? You can do that. That's more riskier. Sure, go ahead, do that. But if you want to be precise and you know that you want to make profit on one stock or the other, go ahead and do that too. All right, so for me, honestly, both stocks are great, but NVIDIA is by far the better competitor, okay? It's by far, people have settled in on NVIDIA. More than half the market is sentiment and settled on NVIDIA, okay? This doesn't mean AMD is a bad investment, all right? 100% it does not mean that. AMD gets the job done. But if we look at some numbers that I'm going to show y'all are going to see why people are investing in NVIDIA. It's because how much cash NVIDIA generates. To pinpoint a good business, you got to see how they operate, how their CEO is, how their management team is, and how they're working with their income statement, their cash flow. How much profit is the company bringing in at the end of the day? That's all we care about, okay? And I gave an analogy about basketball players, Jordan and Curry. When we talk about numbers, Jordan has more rings. Some people could say Jordan's the better player. NVIDIA has better numbers. That's why people say NVIDIA is the better competitor. They have better, you could say they have better graphics, AI, technology, whatever, data centers. But fairly, AMD is not a bad stock, right? They just signed a contract with Microsoft about a couple weeks ago about Xbox as well. So AMD's making some money moves as well, and they have earnings coming soon here. So keep that in mind, all right? Numbers. This is where the money's made. All right, I want you to look at these three financial reports. Financial reports is basically, statements that show how a company is doing. It's like a piece of paper that shows you what the profit is, what the loss is, where's the debt with the company, and these are fancy words that are called income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. Okay, you can read these definitions, but I'm going to sum it down, narrow it down. Balance sheet is basically the expenses of a company. You can see the assets, liabilities, like some of the bills that they're paying, like paying their they're paying back their some of their workers and stuff like that. Some of the regular things each and every single business does. Cash flow statement, where the company's cash is coming from and going. So if a company's bringing in money, right? If I'm bringing in money, you have to be able to have enough money after your expenses to invest back in your business. This is the number one thing that I love looking at, because the more cash you have, the better you can, the better moves you can make, because you just got cash sitting around. You can take that money. Let's say DeepSeek comes out with another AI that, does something crazier. NVIDIA has over $600 million cash sitting
sitting in the bank. What are they going to do, right? What is the management team going to do? They're going to make some moves based on that, and they have way more than 600 million. I want y'all to look at something, and y'all are going to make some insights based on that, okay? Now, this is financial reports, revenue, net income, EPS, okay? Just look at the net revenue, okay, and net income. AMD's full year of 2024, their revenue was $25.79 billion. All right. Now I want you to look at NVIDIA's 1 quarter. Okay. It says 2026. It basically means 2025. 1 quarter. They had $44 billion. Okay. Almost double of what AMD had. Now, what are the people going to do? All right. If you have a brain, you're going to look at NVIDIA and be like, why is that number so high? And that's exactly what I did. I'm like, why is that number so high? People are settled in. They know that NVIDIA can produce. They destroy every earnings. They beat. So on earnings, right, the stock doesn't really do nothing crazy on earnings. Sometimes it usually just go down, but it kind of consolidates. It moves sideways. But the earnings are always there because this company generates a lot of cash. NVIDIA generates a lot of cash, and the next few years for NVIDIA, you can catch another 45-50% back on your money for sure. Okay, now, operating free cash flow, again, NVIDIA by far beats AMD again. Now, I want to show y'all this chart, this pie chart, whatever you want to call it, right? A bar graph, whatever. Look at NVIDIA versus AMD, the key financial metrics. We have revenue, we have net income, free cash flow. These three are one of the best things you can use to analyze a stock and look if you should invest in the business or not. If you just took $10,000 right now, close your eyes and dumped it in NVIDIA, you wouldn't regret it 5 years later. Here is why. Look at how much cash this company has. They just have this. Look at that compared to AMD. Look at the free cash flow of AMD. Right? This is a big difference. A lot of companies, they don't find that, they don't find that gap that they can fill years and years into the business. And NVIDIA has products and stuff that nobody else has. So they can overcharge people. Sure, they're probably charging somebody 100 million for something that's, roughly 30-40 million. But that is the game of being ahead of the game. If one shop has a smartphone where you don't have a home button anymore, and the other shop still has a stupid big home button on your phone, they don't have the latest technology phone, the other guy can, they can overcharge that like 10x, 20x. That's exactly what NVIDIA is doing. All right, so I want y'all to keep this in mind. Both stocks are good, but when we compare AMD to NVIDIA, I would say NVIDIA is better, but the money can be made both ways. Do not disregard that. Ended off NVIDIA so I can go with AMD. I wanted to dump more money into AMD. I'm waiting for a pullback. Really, 135 is that buy zone. I want to put more money down when we hit that zone again. As y'all can see, I put money down this week right here at 139. Next time around, I can see 135 coming again. All right, we were just up about 4% last week, and now we're down 4% this week, or leading into this week, whatever, right? So this stock is very volatile. I want y'all to know both stocks are very volatile. If you want to put money in here, be very precise with where you want to get out. Where is it too much for you? If you put $10,000 in and you're losing $9,500, shame on you, right? As crazy as that sounds, you should set a stop loss regardless. If you're losing more than 50% of your money, no, you got to set some boundaries. Unless you have a crazy income statement or insider information from the CEO, and you're, the CEO is giving you lap dance every other night, then the stock is going to go up 100%, right? I wouldn't see why you would hold a stock if you're down 50-60%. So, for example, if I invested into AMD right around here, around 181, 179, I would have sold this, around 140, 139, just took my loss, and I would have made it up with NVIDIA. Because guess what I would have did? I would have take that money, took some more money, and I would have doubled down in NVIDIA since it's the better competitor, right? And I would have waited, and I would have bought around 108, 115. I would have made all that money back that I lost from AMD earlier this year. So do not hold on to a stock. Look for a better play. Take your loss. Be disciplined, right? Whether it's long-term, whether it's you're holding the stock for 20 plus years, whatever. If you see a money move and you see opportunity, go for it. But make sure you have these 3 metrics down, all right? Balance sheet, cash flow statement, operating cash flow, and make sure you can see what this looked like. What is the visualization, right? Can you set out a graph, and look at what the candlestick pattern looks like? What does this look like on numbers? I like talking numbers. See, this up here, this is cool. Like, we can talk about buyers. We can talk about people buying certain stocks and stuff like that. But I like talking about numbers. 44 billion compared to 25 billion in revenue. We know which stock is making the money. We can make choices based on that. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Mr. BuyTheDip is out.